Hi, I'm Jamie. Welcome to Talking Sonics. Well, today I'm doing something a little bit different, taking you into my personal world of guitar setups or minor repairs. And this is something that any musician can do at home. So here we go. Let's get into it. Roll the intro. Okay, simple guitar setups. I've got this fantastic, beautiful British brand Tanglewood dreadnought cutaway guitar here. I picked up recently. Just looking at the specs actually here, I've got written down solid cedar top here, mahogany back and sides. It has a rosewood fingerboard, and if I go close to the camera, you may get to see that the frets are a little bit sad, not rusted or anything, but just not even flat. They're just very dull. There's a little bit of stickiness. Obviously need some new strings. I went to my friends at Gold Coast Music, picked up some Fender strings for this guy, standard gauge, acoustic strings. I'm going to do a simple job on this guitar and show you what I do and how I give this a light fret dress to really make it play well, look beautiful, and just make it a nice, beautiful thing to play. It's already a great guitar, has a great tone to it, nice timbers. You can see some nice yellowing of the varnish there. This is a late 2000s Evolution model. So what are the tools I'm using for this job? Well, I've got some steel wool here, obviously the guitar strings, got a peg winder, wire cutters in this case, these little guys. I always like to finish off after playing with a little bit of sort of light oil, like a sewing machine oil, so that's always in my kit. I never used to use finger ease, but that does actually give you a nice additional slinky, slippery feeling on the guitar, and that's kind of key here with the fret dress, is to make it feel smooth. I find if you have dirty fretboard or dirty unpolished frets, it's hard to bend, it's harder to change chords, it's just a less smooth playing experience. So steel wool, now you might think that's a bit coarse or a bit rough. What am I going to do with the steel wool? Well, here's a tip. My good friend James Cargill, who is one of Australia's finest acoustic guitar makers, he advises that the best way to do a home fret dress is using steel wool. Now, if you're unsure of Cargill custom guitars, his dear father, Merv, who's now passed away, rest in peace, our dear Merv, made me this Stratocaster in 1986. Look at this, neck through body, 19 laminated pieces that go neck through the body, all the way through, and then it's laminated on top with walnut veneer with a nice flame. It's Kayla tremolo, so it was the 80s, bit of metal touch there, but the locking Kayla tremolo has been a trooper, really holds tune. Ebony fretboards, so these guys know what they are doing. In fact, have been the rock and roll to the stars guitar repairers, fixing guitars for Angus Young and Jimmy Page while on tour. You name it, Cargill custom guitars have been the go-to guys. Now, steel wool. So the aim, obviously, pull the strings off with caution here at the bridge, and clip the strings off and remove that and get polishing. So that's what I'm going to do next. You can watch me getting into polishing that fretboard. And yes, you could consider masking up all the way along the fretboard, ultimately masking so you're only seeing the frets, but I'm not doing that. I actually want to polish the rosewood fretboard as well, and steel wool is fine for that. Now you can do that job and then go over with a wax and polish as well of the entire guitar, always a nice thing to do. So let's get into doing this fret dress with steel wool here on my table in the middle of my kitchen. Now I say this is going to be a fret dress, but really it's going to be a solid buff and polish, and that's because the frets are in a really good condition. I'm not going to be filing or crowning these frets. Snapped. And there goes the bridge pin from the top E string. Oh well, that's the way it goes. These things happen. But it's on with the job. Something I always advise. Roll these up neatly. Tuck your old strings away. Like that. Really good idea because you don't want to get stabbed with these when you put them in the wrong place. Okay, something important that I didn't mention before, that what you need is the 000 grade. I'll say that again. It's not going to scratch the fretboard, so 000 grade is what you're looking for. Otherwise, anything coarser will scratch, do damage to your fretboard. So 000 only is the way. Okay, obviously steel wool's going to go everywhere, so I'm going to remove this cloth. Now, any good tradesperson will tell you to keep your workplace clean and tidy, but I'm not a professional, certainly not a guitar tech. But I am showing you what you can achieve with a small amount of tools on your kitchen bench at home. I am concentrating some pressure on top of the frets I'm doing here. I've got a towel underneath that to stop that rocking. I'm in the kitchen towel. Beautiful. And I do have just this cork piece, a wood sanding cork, just to hold the neck up in place. Okay, so I've got the guitar where I need it to be. I can now start working with that steel wool. Frets feel quite smooth. No great gouges in there, which is nice. I'm now working my way up the fretboard and feel the frets as I go. I'm looking for an even shine, an even polish, and just working my way carefully along the board and making sure I'm applying equal pressure across each fret from the center of my steel wool pad. So I'm just going to work up and down the frets and make sure I've got a really even polish. That goes for the entire fretboard. It needs to look great and feel good. Just for the sake of the exercise, let's just a little bit of oil, just to see how it comes up. That oil's not really going to hurt anything. It's just a light, clean sewing machine oil. You might want to use something more natural. I'm sure you can find a better product than what I've got here. Fretboard is a bit coarse through here. Bit of a lump on the ridge and the timber. You can see that grain coming through there. It's a little bit coarse. Wasn't finished so well in the factory in China. And this is the thing with these mass-produced guitars, they come out of the factory quickly, so polishing and giving them some love can make all the difference. There's quite a bit of finger wear through here. Someone's loved and played this. And of course, this is a 2008 year model guitar, now actually becoming a vintage, worth caring for. Really applying some pressure here. It's actually feeling really all in my forearm, so I'm really concentrating some weight into that. Working up a sweat here in Queensland. Whew. But it doesn't actually take long before I'm really getting a shine on these frets. Just have a look at that, it's coming up nicely. It will certainly play well soon. So this feels a lot smoother. It's not perfectly smooth going across the grain, up and down the neck like that. It's really silky. And looking nice. Okay, a final buff now, and I'll be ready for some strings. Okay, let's go with the restringing. Now, issue I have, big one, it doesn't fit these huge tuning pegs. So that goes in the bin. But seriously, I am disappointed that the peg winder won't fit these heads, but you know, that's the way it goes, so it's on with the restringing. Ball end first, and then finger pressure on the bridge pin as I'm winding the strings on, and keeping it there so it doesn't pop out. And I have a little technique for threading the strings through at the bridge end winding around and under. So the E, A and D strings, they will wind around clockwise to the center of the head, and the G, B and E strings anti-clockwise to the center of the head, and then the string is next folded under and back over itself tightly to hold it in place. Then I can wind the rest of the string around the tuning peg. And now it's just a process of working string by string, making sure I've got enough slack as I thread the strings through and winding on a decent amount so I've got good string tension. And of course I'm going to tune up to concert pitch and stretch the strings a little as I go so the guitar's ready to play. Okay, so job done, strings on. It's something I always hate doing. I've been doing it for 35 years, maybe more. Never gets easier. I don't know. I don't know why. It's just never been my thing. But you might have seen some of the way I was doing some of the winding and hand tying. Sometimes that looping around and hand looping works for me. Other times, like with this nasty E string, it just kept unlooping, unraveling. I couldn't get it on. So extremely frustrating. But hey, we're all humans, aren't we? Anyway, there you go. I have now something glistening and gleaming. This guy is looking lovely.
Darkness falls again through all the wind and rain. Darkness falls again, but you won't feel my pain. Kindness smiles again through all the pouring rain. Kindness shines again.
And feels good too, so just running my hands along the fretboard, it feels nice. It's only just had its first tune. Need to tune up a little bit more. So it's time to get a little self-indulgent. I'm strumming pretty hard, distorting my little vocal mic there on the stand. But I think the results speak for themselves. The guitar is playing beautifully. It sounds lush, rich, and of course in tune. Feeling nice. So there you go. Not too hard to do your own fret dress on an acoustic or electric. A little bit of love, a little bit of passion, a little bit of elbow grease goes a long way. Wax or polish at the end, maybe some natural oil at the end to make it glisten and shine. And there's your result. Beautiful. So thanks for joining me on Talking Sonics. I hope to see you again. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because really there's only about 30% of you watching that have subscribed. 70% of you have not, so please subscribe. Look forward to seeing you real soon. Stay tuned. Take care.